I said, sit down. She sat down. I said to her, okay, just feel you're in water and you're panicking. How old do you feel? This is called a process in my book. And she said, 18 months. I said, where are you? She said, I'm in the bath, the taps are running, Mummy goes through the front door to let Granny in and doesn't come back. So there for me is an ordinary reason why this child at 18 months is panicking. Water getting higher, the taps are running. Okay. So I said to her, ask Jesus for his gift of forgiveness for your mother. The line says, Lord Jesus, I need your gift of forgiveness to forgive my mother with your forgiveness. Then, Lord Jesus, I need your gift of love to love my mother with your love. Off she went. And she wrote to me a long, long letter that week and said that she had been, I've forgotten what she said now, but she had been helped by what had happened. So
she was diving in. Pardon? She was diving in.
Yes, that's right. The next time she saw me, she was diving in. The next time she was teaching old ladies to dive in. And then she was having a cup of coffee with the instructors who were saying, there are certain people we are trying to teach to swim, we know they'll never be able to swim, you're one of them, we can't understand why you can swim. And she said, well, we prayed, and phooey, you wouldn't believe her. Okay, now then. Healing of memories. So when I said to her, see, the background to all this is always prayer. So when I said to her, sit down, to feel her in the water, you're panicking, just feel it, how old you feel, that gives Christ the opportunity of putting a memory back in her head. She's 18 months old in the bath when Mummy goes away. Okay, that's healing of memories. So there we are. Now, the first under this Yoseful, unforgiveness and then childhood trauma. Those two are the most important two. Unforgiveness and childhood trauma. Is there anybody in your life that you need to forgive? You must, for your own sake, you must forgive. You can't forgive because you're human. I give you a handout in Healing 1. To err is human, to forgive is divine. So you say, Lord Jesus, I need your gift of forgiveness to forgive X with your forgiveness. I need your gift of love to love X with your love. So Jesus does it through you and for you. So no matter how difficult a person may find forgiving, sometimes it's very, very difficult. No matter how difficult it is to forgive, if you use those two lines, it becomes easy because Jesus does it for you. Keep that in mind. It's always possible to forgive and to love when you think you can't, if you let Jesus do it for you. Okay.
Can you do this yourself?
Yes.
You don't need another person to help you?
Yeah. Yes.
Death. Unusual or violent deaths, committed or attempted suicide, were murdered or died in tragic ways such as accidents, wars or violence, had an abortion or participated in, sponsored an abortion, had repeated miscarriages, died in a mental institution, nursing home or prison, especially those who felt lonely, unloved and or abandoned, those who are unnaturally grieved, untimely deaths. This could include, for example, a pattern in the male line of a family dying at an early age. Evidence of demonic or oppressive spirits, superstitions, involvement in activities such as witchcraft, astrology, spiritualism, divination, magic, channeling of spirits, meditation.
Now, meditation has different parts. We don't mean Christian meditation here. It means non-Christian meditation. like transcendental meditation. Okay.
New Age or non-Christian religions of any sort, opening oneself to powers of the spiritual realm, such as precognition or other psychic abilities, severe trauma with evidence of effects passed on through the family, example, drowning resulting in fear of water in other members, especially descendants, made a blood covenant with Satan and involved in Satan worship, involved with a witch or other persons involved in the occult. Habitual patterns of sin, adultery, fornication, prostitution, homosexuality, lesbianism, incest, pornography, homosexual, heterosexual of child, sexual perversions such as bestiality and paedophilia, fetishes, sexual promiscuity, lust, sexual addictions. Other besetting habitual sins, violence, abuse, physical, mental or emotional, racial prejudice, anger, religious prejudice, murder, pride, greed, materialism, arrogance, hatred, unforgiveness, or holding grudges. Destructive or abnormal patterns of relationships, addictions, alcoholism, nicotine, drug, food, etc., divorces, abuse, physical and mental or emotional, hostility, control, manipulation, bondage, domination, revenge seeking, unforgiveness, bitterness, anger, depression, person considered an outcast, reject, or black sheep. Diseases or predisposition to illness, arthritis, cancer, diabetes, depression, forgetfulness, headaches, heart trouble, high blood pressure, manic depressive disorders, mental retardation, mental disturbances, nervous breakdowns, respiratory trouble, skin problems, ulcers. Historical family connections, involvement with events of great sin, evil or trauma. Example, massacres, plagues, slavery, conquest, etc. Ethnic origin issues, negative traits, cultural evils, oppression, curses. Example, European, Asian, African, Native American or Caribbean ancestry, etc. Religious history, list all non-Judeo-Christian religions in the family, including atheism, in utero wounding, a child conceived in lust or rape, illegitimacy, parent considering adoption or abandonment, ambivalence or rejection from either parent, fears, anxiety. Example, mother had difficulty carrying child to term, attempted failed abortion, loss of father, life-threatening illness of the mother, life-threatening illness of the baby, if mother had miscarriages or abortions before you were conceived.
Okay. I ought to say something about adoption. The children will always have problems. I forgot to email a couple living in Reading who adopted 2 boys. And I met them 18 years ago. They're now about 20 years old. And there have always been problems. The police, things going wrong. And I was going to ask them to come along today, and I forgot to do so. But I have there is an adoption agency in Liverpool. I get the magazine from this place, and it says they have an adoption agency. And I still want to write to this adoption agency, as well as a community in, I think, near Southport, community of prayers of deliverance. And I'd like to put them together and get the people from the community to pray with the people in the adoption agency. Because I firmly believe that children who have been offered for adoption will always have problems. Because why have they been offered for adoption? The mother can't cope. Let's example. A young lady has an affair, she has a child, she tells the father, he can't cope, he goes. First rejection. Secondly, the mother can't cope, hands the baby over to adoption, second rejection. Now, I think, unless somebody prays specifically, prayers of deliverance with the child and children, there will be problems. So that's what I think mentions adoption.
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with fear, he learns to be apprehensive. If a child lives with pity, he learns to feel sorry for himself. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with jealousy, he learns what envy is. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns to be confident. If a child lives with acceptance, he learns to love. If a child lives with praise, he learns to be appreciative. If a child lives with recognition, he learns it is good to have a goal. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with honesty and fairness, he learns what truth and justice are. If a child lives with sharing, he learns about generosity. If a child lives with friendliness, he learns that the world is a nice place in which to live. If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith in himself and in those about him. If you live with serenity, your child will live with patience of mind. The study of family dynamics has shown that happy families, whatever their makeup, have certain traits in common. It might be valuable to occasionally evaluate the dynamics of your family to ensure that everyone is as happy as they could be. Positive communication. Both children and their parents benefit from communication that is loving, understanding, and patient. Positive communication in families includes talking honestly, listening with full attention, reassuring each other of love with words, cuddles, and making time, sharing thoughts and feelings without censoring or criticizing each other, encouraging positive behavior with praise, allowing the expression of negative emotions as well as positive ones, working together to solve problems and conflicts. Quality time together. The pressures of modern living mean that some families tend to operate like a collection of separate individuals, all living their own lives without much interaction as a family. Happy families spend time together, even if this means scheduling appointments that suit everyone. Suggestions include making dinner time an opportunity for roundtable family discussions, one-on-one conversations to strengthen individual relationships within the family, regular family outings, deciding as a group on important family traditions, such as how to celebrate birthdays and Christmas, holidays that cater for the whole family. Healing adult children from dysfunctional families. Because of the sin and disorder in our society, literally millions of people have grown up in dysfunctional families. That is, in families without functioning fathers and or mothers. This fact is of monumental significance, since the family is the only context in which a person can properly and fully develop. Facing reality. To be healed of a dysfunctional background, the adult child must face the following realities. I need healing. The effects of a dysfunctional family should not be denied. We will not grow out of them. Time will not heal them. These effects will not disappear, although they may be expressed in new and subtle ways. I cannot heal myself. Even individual prayers will not bring total healing. If the Lord gives us the opportunity to receive healing from others, we need other members of Christ's body. 1 Corinthians 12:21. Jesus will certainly heal me if I let him have his way. Jesus and only Jesus can do the impossible and heal us of even the most extreme abuse. Dysfunction by absence and or abuse. In healing dysfunctional families, it is helpful to distinguish between dysfunction because of absence or because of abuse. In some cases, these causes of dysfunctional family overlap. The family may be a victim of circumstances, and the absence of the parent may be beyond his control. When a person has been fully parented because of the absence due to death, work or divorce, there is not always the need to forgive the parent. This is significant because forgiveness is usually the most important aspect of healing anything, including dysfunctional families. See Sirach 28:3.
I'm wondering, when a person has not been fully parented because of absence due to death, work or divorce, there's not always a need. There may well be. I would suggest always forgive, because unforgiveness is the main block to healing, and therefore I would suggest. Can you find Sirach